Sorry for the late start. I'd like to call the Town of Newburgh Town Council meeting Wednesday, August 27th, 2025 to order, please. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, we have the, any remembrances and acknowledgements?
Stacy, I don't have a remembrance or an acknowledgement. One thing I'd like to ask before we get started is,
Okay.
I've had several people in the last 2 weeks talk to me about how they had real trouble discerning what was being said on the video, and I wondered if that had been taken care of, or if not, we need to make sure that gets taken care of.
So, yes, we had a new mixer put in at the last town council meeting, or right before the last town council meeting, so the live was a little off. But he came in right after, and then he is monitoring it right now while we're having this meeting. If anything needs to be fixed, he's gonna let me know, and I can go dial.
Perfect, thanks, Andrea.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Stacy.
No problem. Anything else?
Just a reminder that tomorrow's the big day. We find out if Newburgh, England, our sister city, won the Best Kept Village Award for their county of Lancashire. That is such a huge deal there, you cannot imagine.
Wow.
My friend Bill Skinner, the last time when I was there, that they were in contention for winning, he was actually sitting down on the ground with a pair of scissors trimming his grass.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it's that serious.
Wow.
They won, it's been over 20 years since they won the Best Kept Village, and they are one of 2 finalists. And if the decision is made tomorrow, it should be made tomorrow or Friday, so we should know if they won.
And
if they
will you
did,
find out then? Will you find out?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And if they do win, we definitely need to send them a letter and give them congratulations, because they will be very, very, very excited.
Will you let us know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of you, I sent something, if I'm connected to you on Facebook, I sent something to you last night. I got a little carried away, jumped the gun, because they are one of 2 finalists. They haven't won yet, but that's
Wow.
huge even to make it this far.
Right.
Wow,
So-
that's great.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I would like to request a moment of silence for the children, the school, the church personnel, the Minneapolis community. They've experienced something today that is unthinkable. Thank you.
Yes, our hearts go out to the community of Minneapolis. All right, any other acknowledgements?
Could I just ask, is there anything different on the agenda that we have, that we received in the packets and that we have in the?
You received the SR4 information.
Yes, but the agenda is the same?
It should be the same.
Okay,
As far
thank
as I
you.
know, there's no changes.
All right, roll call.
District 1, Steve Shoemaker.
Present.
District 2, Paul Perry.
Present.
District 3, Stacy Krieger.
Present.
District 4, Ann Restaurant.
Here,
Council at Large, Leanna K. Hughes.
Happy to be here.
Clerk Treasurer Nanette Angel here. Administrative Town Manager Christopher Cook.
Here.
Deputy Town Manager Andrea Balboni. Here. Town Attorney Christopher Wisher, Michael Lombard.
Here.
And Town Engineer Drew Flanian.
Present.
All right, I'd like approval for the August 11, 2025 minutes. I'd like a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You all crack me up.
All right, there are no scheduled requests and obviously no comments by citizens. We'll go on to new business. There's nothing for Civil Town? Okay, that doesn't happen very often.
Very rare.
Sewer, Drew.
So the first item I have is a permit for the town's upcoming wet wastewater treatment plant wet weather facility. in which the project's work will extend into the county's right-of-way at Veneta Road. So engineer recommends town to execute the permit to allow engineer to submit on the town's behalf.
All right, I need a motion to approve the Newburgh wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second. Oh,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Drew, the Powers Place sanitary?
Yes, thank you. This is very similar to the first item here. It's another Warwick County permit. This is for the town's upcoming sewer project to relocate sanitary sewers from underneath 2 homes in Powers Place subdivision. Again, part of the work will be located in the county's Kimberly Lane right-of-way, so engineer recommends town council execute this permit to allow the engineer to submit on the town's behalf.
All right, I need a motion to approve the Powers Place sanitary sewer project.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, wow, unfinished business. I guess we're gonna leave the 2 on table.
Yes, please.
Well, we could, I don't know, I can just give the update during my report.
Okay. All right, going on to reports, town manager.
Yes, thank you. You have my packet in front of you. I'll just call attention to a couple things. First being that I'm setting up a meeting with the county. They've expressed an interest in looking at repaving the entirety of Sharon Road. And I guess in the past, there's been some shared cost associated with that. So I'm gonna get with Drew and we're working on setting up something with them in the coming weeks, and I'll keep you updated on that. Probably be 27. I told them with Senate Bill 1, I don't think we'll ever afford it, but you know, they, we'll get some costs worked out and see what it looks like and see what we can do. It must be street light season because we've turned in over 7 street lights out in the past couple weeks. CenterPoint's been working through most of them. I added a couple more today. All the ones from this report, but 1 have been repaired at the time of this meeting. Under miscellaneous, we met with FEMA on a follow-up meeting today. I'm sure Andrea can get a little more into that, but we're moving along through the process. We're getting them most of what they need to see if they're gonna contribute some funds for the trail repairs. And then there's some video stuff we're working on getting them for the stormwater line over at Polk and Third. But other than that, we're appeared to be moving forward with everything else. I've also got something to bring before you there. We had to get some quotes on the, there's 3 sections of the French Island Trail just east of the town limits where the curb between the trail and the sidewalk or the street is kind of popped up and it needs to be repaired. And the total to do those 3 repairs is just a tick above my spending limit. I sought 3 vendors. The lowest and most responsive vendor was David Enterprises, and that work was $5,915. And it's something we need to get repaired. And I would just seek your approval that we could move forward with that since it's above what I could authorize.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I would so move. I think that's very important. I think it's a safety thing too. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
And then we're working through continually updating the website and social media. There's been a request, and I can't remember if I brought it up before, that wasn't in your report, if there was any discussion or official motion for us to create a town Instagram page that's tied to our Facebook account. Renee's been working with me on that, and we feel that we've identified the ability to send the pictures and stuff. You gotta kind of stay where the people are, and that's one of the places that we're not at currently that we need to be. And I didn't know if I had the authority to just set that up or if I needed your all's blessing on that.
What do you all think? I'm fine with him doing it.
It would be under the same rules. The same people that could change the Facebook page would be able to handle the Instagram.
All right, do you need a motion for that or just?
I don't think so. I think that was more of a, I didn't know if I needed a motion or not, but I just wanted to, since it's something new, I just wanted to advise you, and I forgot to put it in my report.
Are those same people comfortable with Instagram? I have
Yeah.
never even been on
Well, it's
Instagram.
Julie, Andrea, myself, and Renee.
Okay. Every
And then
once in a while.
generally, just kind of like, I'm assuming it's the same, but like whatever I share, like I have it set up to whatever I share on my personal Instagram goes to Facebook, right? So it
It'll
can-
link between, like, if we do a post on one, it'll post on the other simultaneously, because
Oh, that's
they're
good.
owned by the same company. It's,
Okay.
what is it?
Every
Meta.
once in a while, it pops up on my phone screen, and it scares me. It's like I'm in an evil spot that I'm not supposed to be in, because I know nothing about it, and I'm scared somebody's doing something to me. I can't help it.
It's just like Facebook, just pictures.
It's not like Facebook. There's these funny-looking little people on there. They have little pictures that aren't them.
I got one, I got one more
It
piece
would
of
be so
business.
what?
That wasn't in my report, but was emailed to you by Chief Mitchell. Wanted approval for September 6th around 6 o'clock. 20 West has an event that they've done once before that was approved. Everybody knows what a second line is. Essentially, a couple has rented Preservation Hall for their wedding from us, and they're gonna have their reception at 20 West, and they're gonna do one of the second line marches from Preservation Hall to 20 West around 6 o'clock on September 6th. And Chief Mitchell and myself and a few others thought it would be best to bring it up here and get approval from you all, so I can let the family know that this would be a good thing.
I think it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
cool
mean,
to watch.
It's not a full road closure, but it would just stop traffic for that.
He
that
said
part.
maybe 20 minutes, if that, 15,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
It was great. The first one was just
A lot of
a
fun.
lot of fun, a lot of people with the wedding party and other people who were just hanging out. It was good. And it's good use of the space, good advertisement for Preservation Hall.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is.
I might tip off some people in the photography community that might donate pictures that we could use for and stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
But
That
that's
works.
pretty much all my report. Oh, wait, I gotta get a motion
I was
So-
thinking, yeah, approval for that.
or approval.
Okay,
So moved.
do I have a second?
I'll second for the purpose of talking about it. Are we paying for the extra police, or is this
No,
something
but-
she's?
The family pays.
Okay, okay. That's good, thank you.
Any
That's
other
all.
discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
See, you started without me.
I know.
That's pretty much all I have, unless there's additional questions from any of you. Thank you.
Andrea?
Yeah, so you guys have my report as well in front of you. Only thing I was gonna talk about is we did have that, FEMA discussion today, so the debris and everything has moved forward, so we'll be getting a check. He basically said at this point, it's been approved by the federal government and it's just in with the state. So it's about $12,000 reimbursement for us, for all that removal. So they don't know quite yet if it will get sent to us once everybody's projects are closed out, or if it's just gonna get sent at a certain point. So once we know more, obviously I'll let Nanette know. And then the two big things with FEMA, obviously, is our emergency protective measures, and that's mostly everything that we had to do with wastewater. And we're just waiting on one thing from Centerpoint. We have 2 weeks to get that to them, and then hopefully that'll start that whole process, because that's a big dollar amount. And then the two projects with the Third and Fillmore and the Riverfront, we've given them all the information that we have, all the costs we have. And so, we're just kind of gonna wait. They were gonna give it to their, basically, especially the riprap, we gave them all three options with the three costs, and they're gonna look it over and let us know what they think.
There's an option to put it back like it was, and then there's two options to make it better. There's two different ways we can go. One would be a concrete wall, all not seen by the public, or how do you pronounce that, Gabion?
Gabion baskets.
Gabion baskets that are then wedged behind, underneath where the planters are, and then the riprap goes up against it. They're within $4,000 of each other, and I mean, there's pros and cons, but they're pretty much the same thing. as far as what we need. So we figured we would present all three options and let them be the ones to decide what they will fund.
And they said they'll run it through their cost analysis to see, is it worth it to do the bigger fix, so there's not constant repairs down the line. So once we hear from them, we'll let you guys know.
You
what they
can
say.
also do green gabion, where you've got vegetated gabion baskets, where the exterior is green so you don't see the rock. It's plant-wise.
These will be buried, that's where the landscape is, so they'll
Yeah.
be buried underneath, so the town's landscape, the crepe myrtles and everything, so you won't see those, right?
Right, yeah, it's all
Oh,
big.
okay.
Yeah.
But we need something that the moisture,
Other than that, we had our MS4 audit last week. And a huge thank you to Drew and to Brady for helping out with that. And to Street and Wastewater for keeping up what they're supposed to be keeping up for MS4. So I thought it was a pretty positive audit. We got a few suggestions moving forward. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. We'll get the final report from them at some point, I think, but it's a little down the line. And then, just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys checked your mailboxes, but you guys all have key fobs. The new key fob system is in place on the doors. So I will send you out the schedule. I sent it to all the employees here, but it locks and unlocks at a certain time, and outside of that, you guys will have to use the fob to come in and out. And then the main door here in the lobby is still, they have it, they're just now waiting for an install date. So then that one we won't have to bend down and lock anymore. So I'm excited about that one.
Yes.
So the key fob is for the front door going out to Jennings?
So the key fobs are on the two front doors on Jennings, the downstairs door, and then there's a door in the hallway. And then this main, eventually this, I'm gonna poke you with the pin, this main, the main double doors will eventually be
Okay.
on the key fob system as well. And then I gave you guys cottage pictures. Everything looks amazing. I hope you looked at them. They look fantastic. And again, thank you to Troy for all of his help. Kiwanis of Newburgh wanted me to say thank you to you guys for the AED and that anti-choking. As you guys know, their community building hosts the AA meetings, the Al-Anon meetings, the Boy Scout meetings. So there's tons of meetings every day that building, Monday through Sunday, that building is utilized. So they're very, very grateful for that. And then the only other thing I have for you guys, on your desks, we got this today, but I kind of gave you a rundown of the motions made on this SS4A grant. We did get this final agreement. They need this back by September. I printed it out so I wouldn't forget. They need it back by September 15th. So I didn't know, the big thing they attached with this time is a bunch of exhibits and general terms and conditions. I would like Wisher to look over this. We do have a council meeting before the deadline, but I wanted to give it all to you guys and either give you the option of approving it now based on legal approval, or if you did want to wait till that, I think it's September 10th meeting to approve it, but it is due for on September 15th.
Council, what do you want to do? Do you want to wait till September 10th, or do you want to give her a go-ahead based on legal's recommendation?
Yeah, I would think that we could go ahead and approve it based on review by legal. What do you think, Michael?
So the application itself is exactly the same one that we've had on all these other motions, just those exhibits were the only thing that they sent different this time. And that's why I wanted legals just to look it over for us.
Yeah.
What do you think? Ann or Leanna, do you have an opinion?
I think with legal, it's gonna be fine.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I would move that we approve based on legal's review.
All right, do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right.
Thank you guys very much, and that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Any questions for Andrea?
The pictures of the Lockmaster houses, they look great. They, you know, it's always been so stark and so sterile, and this gives it a homey look
It does.
and makes it much more attractive, I think, for
Troy did a great job.
He did,
potential.
and we've already had a ton of compliments on it. We've had some renters that have never been in there before, so they don't know any difference, but they were telling us how pretty it was. And then we've had, one renter who comes in this time of year, and he gets both of them for a full week, and he called me, and he's like, whoa. Because he's been here I've been here 9 years, and he's been coming every week for 9 years, so he loved them, so.
Who is this guy?
Just a renter, a guy that comes in,
Oh.
he visits his family, and they get both cottages for a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Good.
Cool.
All right. Zoning, we have a report here.
Yeah, this is Riley's second report. And basically, she, I think, is learning the ropes. She's doing a fantastic job. If you guys have any questions on this report, just let me know. But yeah, she's just kind of powering through and learning the ropes and doing a great job.
Yeah, I can't complain. She rides with me occasionally. I know she spends some time with you, and we're trying to show her the ropes, but you only have to tell her once. That's the best kind of person in my book. And very eager, and I think she's representing Town Hall and each of you well.
Good. All right, any questions for zoning?
Okay, I'd like to ask about this. I guess Gerald must have found it that at the building at 111 State Street, they added a new floor. Are you talking about like a whole story, or are you talking
No, I
about
think
flooring?
I think they're doing construction without a permit.
Yeah, but they're not adding a whole new story to the building, are they? Or is it flooring? It says a new floor.
I can double check. I would have heard if they were adding an addition, but I can double check with her. But I think it's just they're doing work without a permit.
Okay.
All right. Any questions on zoning?
The only thing is, I'm interested in attending the one where they are looking, I don't know if this is planning or if it's Board of Zoning Appeals, I think it's planning. They're looking at our code for, what is C4?
C4.
Okay, which one's that, Planning Commission?
That's Planning Commission, and so that is scheduled as of right now for September 2nd.
Okay,
Yes.
But do we have any other business? We are meeting then the second?
I mean, Riley told me today, she confirmed with me that it's September 2nd, so I'm assuming we plan on having a
Chris
meeting.
wanted to have that.
Yeah,
And-
and
and
I
I
think he
would-
wants to have
There was
that.
some stuff that Chris needed to address.
and I would strongly recommend that we do, because this is looming over our head with this
Yeah.
potential problem on the C4 zoning, so let's get ahead of it.
All right, clerk treasurer.
I am back from my annual ILMCT conference. I had 2 full days of State Board of Accounts. Of course, you can imagine that the very first thing they hit with us on Monday morning at 7 a.m. was the SEA one and how it impacts local communities and municipalities. So I can honestly say, as I did listen to the council meeting last week, and I really do appreciate all the kudos and all that. It is a lot of work. This is my 7th budget. And most of the people in the room had already had their DLGF meetings with their budget. So they kind of had an idea already of how much of an impact this is gonna hit their budget ahead of time. But you're correct in saying that the level of stress in the room was very high. There were 401 attendees, so the room was completely packed. I do have a list of some highlights that we have done that they had gone over. And I think in listening to your conversations from last council, I think Chris Wisher described the situation the best. It's the best I've heard anybody say it. The state has flipped a bunch of switches, and now they're just waiting to see what falls out the bottom. And I really, truly feel like that is exactly what's happening. And I'm not saying that there wasn't any thought put into it, I just think that if you switch one switch, you don't know what's gonna happen on the other side, and it all shakes out to the bottom, and unfortunately, the county as well is gonna be hit pretty hard with all of this stuff. So I'd like to say that the town is in really good shape. We've really worked hard to build some reserve, because when I first came in, as you all mentioned, when I first came in, we were not in such good shape. There was no reserve whatsoever, and actually we were in the net deficit. Not really, but it looked like we were in the deficit, and it took me a good year and a half to figure out where we were at and how to go about fixing it. I'm grateful to say that we have done that so far, and I was just about the time where I felt like we could start really doing some investing with some of our reserves. Now this has happened. I don't think that's going to happen right now. So that probably won't happen for a while. But our debt outside of our bond is minimal. We have minimal debt service. It's coming to an end. And, you know, council and staff has worked really hard to get to this point, and I'm really proud to say that we're doing okay. I know Leanna had expressed some concerns about the 2026 budget. I have fixed 26 budget. I think we're good. Now we have, I'm not saying that I was able to get all of our expenses in. We've kind of pulled out some projects that needed to be done, some maintenance costs that probably need to be done eventually, some projects we're gonna have to pull out. I'm suggesting no more debt service until we know what's gonna happen between 27 and 28. But I think we'll be okay for 26. 27 will be a little bit harder, I think, because they're telling us that there's gonna be a bigger deficit next year on the 27th. Let's see here, I've got notes because I knew I was gonna get lost. I really think that, you know, moving forward with all of this, that working in developing a relationship with our county partners to help with us little cities and towns that are 3,500 below, which that also includes Linville, Tennyson, Elberfeld, that I think once we work with our community partners that we should all be okay in the long run. Some of the things that we talked about at conference, like I said, I had 2 full days of State Board of Accounts and 1 full days of other information from DLGF, which is the Department of Local Government and Street, or Local Government and Finance. State Board of Accounts and DLGF are my bosses. They're who I report to. So they gave us a lot of input on things to look out for, which I have discussed with council, and we would move with those on forward later on. Some of the items that we talked about, the road funding changes. You hear in the news that Evansville is trying to pass a wheel tax. They have to pass a wheel tax in order to get the grant money. We don't qualify because of our population. So that's why that doesn't happen here. But that's what's happening with all municipalities. They're gonna have to really look at these mandates in order to get any funding from the state. It's gonna make things tough on everybody. Open door laws, the new updates on the meeting notices, virtual email retention, and public record request. We're getting a lot of AI public record requests. And they kind of addressed how to handle those because they're mass public record requests. They want them electronically so that they can take that data and do with whatever they want to. So they've told us kind of how to handle those, and I'm working with Wisher on that as well. They talked about special investigations and fraud. Clark County in Indiana, there was a major fraud case down there, and they kind of laid that out for us, and we're all looking at each other like, how does this happen? How can this possibly happen? It's crazy, and we're talking millions of dollars in loss. So those are the kinds of things that they told us about. We've talked about the federal rewards or federal awards as far as auditing and the reporting that requires. So with FEMA, we're going to have special reporting requirements, but luckily we're not on the chopping block for an audit because it's under $1 million. So that's good. Grants and Regional Planning Commission, which our current partner is EREP, they talked about, there's a whole class on that, on how to partner up with those people to help you get some of your dream projects completed.
Goody.
Indian, you still have to have money for those though.
Okay.
The IoT, which is the Indiana Department of Technology, they were discussing the new types of phishing that scammers are trying to provide. And clerk treasurers are key for this because of our roles with the cities and towns. So they're offering all kinds of additional training, and we are talking about cybersecurity assessments, some training for staff, and we already participate in a lot of that the state offers, but they went over all of that, and I learned a lot from that class because we get them weekly questions. Let's see, the new rules for DLGF, which is the Department of Local Government and Finance, they are they have to create a transparency portal that provides public information about property taxes. And they're also in the process of streamlining State Board of Accounts with the LGF departments, because right now what we're working with as clerk treasurer is we're working with two completely different systems. And what's good for State Board of Accounts is not good for DLGF, so I always have to cross-reference everything. So they're working on that big thing. I know that there were some questions last time about our rating. It is a AA minus. It is the best that we could get for a municipality. It was no problem getting it the second time around. They were very pleased with our situation at the time we did our bond. And actually, they actually used some of my reports for their boardroom. So that was very nice. Also, there was a mention about opioid funds. There is not a deadline for spending opioid funds. There's just a report that's required to be sent every year, and I've done that already. And then last but not least, FIT and CVET. When we get our federal income tax and our CVET taxes, they are currently distributed amongst our debt service and our general fund. Well, the state has decided that they are going to let us put that all in general fund. So the only thing I need from you guys is a motion that says that I can do that for 26 moving forward. And other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape for 26, but I say that cautiously. So
Okay.
that's all I have.
Do you have any, I
need-
guess before we make a motion for that,
Yes.
what is CVET?
CVET, I knew you were gonna ask me that. It is the commercial vehicle excise tax.
Okay. All right.
And we can't collect that, or we can collect?
We do collect it. It's just being deposited into our general operating fund versus other funds, you know, the funds we talked about in budget. Right now, it's separated between multiple funds. Now I can just put it all in one. But State Board of Accounts requests that we have a motion from council saying that I can do that.
Okay, another question. When you talk about that kind of truck, is that like what Mulzer comes through town all the time? Do we get to collect something about that?
The commercial vehicle excise tax, I'm not real sure how that's collected or how that's distributed. It's something that's done through the county.
Okay. Well, we're the ones being affected by it.
Usually excise tax is paid when you're registering. your
When you're
vehicle.
registering your
Yeah, but I
They're
wonder what
registering.
percentage we get, because we are victim to,
It's based on population, I'm sure, and roads, and the
Okay.
amount of roads we have within the town.
okay. Thank you.
All right.
I know it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean,
It
we're
was a lot for
talking,
you.
we're talking 4 days straight of bam, bam, bam.
Okay. How do you want the motion read?
I need a motion to deposit all the annual federal income tax and CVET taxes in general fund beginning calendar year of 2026, please.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll say something to, you know, I'm sure Nanette's conference was nothing about, you know, State Board of Accounts, and I sent you guys all the AIM schedule that's coming up in October, and I don't know if you looked over the agenda, but every chunk of time, there's something dedicated, right, to Senate Bill 1 and what that effect is, and there's even one specifically for populations less than 3,500, and you know, with Chris and I, that last meeting we had, I mean, it's just by what's on the AIM calendar and what's happening in all these like pop-ups, I mean, it's a big deal. And so if you guys want more, I mean, obviously we'll collect all that data when we go to AIM, and then I think I sent you guys all the email that that DLGF, just, it was a half an hour, and it was a big run-through of, you know, kind of what they're expecting. So anything that comes through like that, Chris and I'll share, and so you guys can know, but it's on every municipality's mind, I think.
And I did share the presentation
Yes.
that Baker Tilly provided us
Mhm.
with all of that with
Yeah.
everybody, so that everybody can see that.
If I could make a suggestion, Chris and Andrea, we should probably go out of our way to meet with the other towns in the county under 3,500 if we haven't done that already, because essentially, when we have to go to the county, which, unless this changes, which I hope it does, if we have to go to the county, we should hopefully go together.
Going
Yeah.
forward.
And
Yes.
that's kind of, I think, what Wisher and I have all, and when all of us have talked about at some point, because we have to go to them in 27,
Yes,
right?
yes,
4/28.
The clerk treasurers were all pretty close, and so we all are making sure.
You're already having that conversation.
We've
Perfect.
already had that conversation,
Perfect.
but we need you all.
And I don't
Yeah,
think we've
yeah.
reached out.
Like,
Well, we haven't, what we were doing is I'm working with AIM on setting up a Warwick County only meeting. And I'm not just gonna limit I'm inviting all, or we're gonna plan on inviting all the municipalities with the focus of the ones, but we're gonna open it to everybody and we're gonna host it. I've been going back and forth with Clint on if it's gonna be this fall or the first part of next year. We're lining up some presentations. We're looking at, obviously related to CenterPoint or utilities, electric, and then cybersecurity is another big issue. We thought we would bring a speaker in. There's usually a meal, there'll be a networking period, but I don't wanna limit that just to those four, but I'll double my efforts down. I've got some good relationships with some of them, and I'll just,
Yeah.
I'll
Well, I mean,
add-
they're in the same boat we're in,
Yes.
so.
But I'll make an extra effort in the coming weeks to try to go knock on their door, because I don't expect them to come here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
any other question, or any questions for Nanette? Town attorney, do you have anything?
Nope.
Town engineer?
I'll just have a couple quick items on the streets here. CCMG project, contractor's gonna be in the next, after this holiday weekend to finish up the Madison Orchard work, do the final grading establishment. Nanette, we should have the final retainage payment that next town council meeting, so we can start that closeout process. And then Town Cruise, they're gonna be scheduling a small installation there on Monroe Street in between 2nd and 3rd. That should probably be taking place the next 2 to 3 weeks too. So I just wanna put everybody on notice. If you see Town Cruise, it probably should take them a couple days worth of work there. But there'll be some communication probably there that may need to go out on the Facebook page when they get started as well.
Okay. Any questions for Drew? We'll go on to commission committee reports. Air Authority, no report. BZA, Ann?
No meeting, no report.
Ann, Fire?
I don't have anything from Nick tonight.
All right, HPC, we did not have a meeting in August. Paul, Parks?
The, no report, but the Parks Board for September has been moved to September 11th at Lou Dennis Park,
Okay.
6 p.m.
I
Plan?
had some questions for
Okay.
Paul, or a couple of comments. Okay, since this past weekend with another Earth Day event, of course, my mind has been on the whole environmental thing for many, many days now, many weeks. And it was all brought home down there this weekend at the park. One of the things I would hope the town might consider doing this, they're still up. We had some like little paperboard kind of signs, I'm not sure what to call them, corrugated board paper, that are down there still. There's, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. And it's basically to make people aware of what happens when you sit down there, eat your lunch, but leave your car running. And I've been very guilty of that in the past. And I've only started thinking about it now, and I'm sorry that I was doing it. But anyway, we've got some signs up down there that we use during the festival, or the event, and it just says, you know, please don't sit and idle your car. There are a couple of them, a couple different styles of signs, but one of them is very pretty. And I wondered if we might consider actually reproducing that sign in a more permanent thing. And I know we don't want signs all over town, but this would be small, and it's just so important when people just, and they do it all the time. And like I said, I was guilty of it. I should be sent to jail for what I contributed.
All right.
What's the question? You were gonna ask me a
Well,
question.
how do you feel about that? Would you ask the park
Can-
board how they might feel about it?
Can you send me a photograph of the?
Sure, they're down there now. I'll run by
Yeah.
and take a picture.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up at Parks Board. Is that what
Yeah,
you're asking?
that would be great.
Okay, perfect.
And then I have a couple of other things, and I don't know if I can just tell you this, or maybe tell Chris, or Andrea, the electrical bias, one of the big electrical boxes on the east side, the east lawn of the building kept popping circuits all weekend with the food trucks. And then there's a water spigot that's also on the east lawn. It's the one that's very small. The others are all kind of like a height about the size of the height of the fence, the concrete fence.
And you sent those to me yesterday, and
Oh, I'm
Gerald-
sorry.
No, that's fine. And Gerald and Anna are gonna go out and take a look at it. And the electrical box, because we have food trucks down there all the time, so I'll have Gerald look and see. maybe
Yeah, well,
something's
he
going
actually
on.
checked it before the event started,
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 days ahead of time. And he called me and said, okay, you're fine on those electrical boxes. We had a question, and the reason he checked was because one of the food trucks needed 440. And that's unusual, and we mostly just have 220. But he told me which one to tell him to use, which I did. And then when the other food truck came, he didn't plug into the same spot, but it was just constant having to go over and flip the switch.
Okay,
So-
well, they're looking into it. If we need to change anything, we'll let you guys know.
Okay, and then I understand there's already plans in the works to try to run electric on the north side, am I correct, or did I dream that?
We're getting a price. Gerald and Anna have been working on getting a price, and I'll make sure and see what the price is.
Okay.
And if we can get it in this year's budget, we will.
Okay,
But we haven't got, did he send it to you? I haven't seen the price
okay.
yet.
We do have electric, of course, at the amphitheater, but we had other things going on. There used to be electric at the gazebo, and I'm not sure something happened to it. Can't be used.
Gerald said it was years ago that line was cut.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
I don't know if they can reuse the conduit. I think that might add some cost. It just depends. And
Okay.
once we get the quote, we'll review it.
And I'd like it to go down as far as the log cabin if possible. I'm not talking about heavy duty, but just like we were gonna have speakers there right at the entrance to the log cabin, just kind of make use of the log cabin a little bit. So it'd be nice if there was an electrical source there.
Okay.
So that's all about the parks that I know to say.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Well, I'd just like to thank Leanna and her committee for getting this together. You guys have had hardly any break in the weather for the other things that you've
I
had
know,
planned.
this was
So you are
beautiful.
due for a beautiful weekend.
It was a beautiful weekend.
You had it, you had good attendance, you had lots of good things going on, and I appreciate what you've done.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, thank you. Except I'm hurting still. Can't hardly move, but I'll get over that.
All right, plan, we did not have a meeting in August. Our meeting would normally be on Labor Day, but we're moving it to Tuesday, so we will have that, and that'll be at 5:30 here in Chambers. And police,
Our
Yeah,
pal
that's-
Oh, it's
that-
Paul.
that's for
I'm
me.
sorry.
No
Sorry.
problem. So, no meeting since our last meeting. The September meeting is gonna shift, so stay tuned. I don't have a date.
Okay.
for that, but it's gonna shift.
okay,
I have a comment,
okay.
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I would like for the council to consider, and I've talked to Chris Wisher about this, to consider making the representatives on the police commission just 2 council people, not 3. At this point, we don't have much communication with the chief of police at all through the council. I mean, when any of us contact him, probably not the police commission contacting him, but if I needed to talk to him about the event, I called 5 times last week. He never called me back. I've heard it said that he doesn't need us because he's got 3 votes on the commission, and that was not formed for that to happen. If we reduce it to 2, things have to come before the council. Right now, we're dealing with looking at, can we afford a 10th officer? Can we afford another car? And we're the ones that deal with the budget. And if that is not getting through to him, he won't communicate here. It used to be, there was always a police representative here at our council meetings. I've heard it said that he doesn't need us because he's got 3 of the council people on his commission. So I think we need to reconsider that whole thought. We don't have to have 3. By state statute, we do not have to have 3. I talked to Chris about it. Just a comment, I think you ought to put it, tuck it in the back of your head and,
So just so there's no confusion, so there has to be 3 members, but 1 can be a resident. So that's, so 2 council and 1 resident is what
Yeah.
we're talking about, not just
I don't
making it
think
down
that's
to
the way
just
ours
2.
is set up, because, is it? Because that was big discussion when we moved to a police commission.
well,
Yeah.
Chris Wisher told me that we could reduce to 2 council people.
And that's how it reads in the ordinance and in the statute, because I looked it up as well, but it's always just ran with the 3, so, and like I told Leanna, we can also look into whether this decision wants to happen now, or, Michael's gonna talk to Chris as well, you know, what goes to commission and then has to come to council versus what goes to commission and doesn't have to come to council. You know, you have that same relationship when it comes to your BZA, right, your HPC. Certain things are done on these boards and committees that don't have to come to council. And those are a little bit more clear, and maybe it's more clear because I go to those meetings and I kind of understand those statutes, versus what does that say for police? Like what can go to police versus what doesn't? Just like with parks, what goes to parks has to come to council versus what goes to parks and doesn't. So I think starting out would be good just to maybe get those guidelines, then look at those guidelines, and then maybe, or I mean, it's up to you guys, but that's what I've asked Michael to do, to go back to Chris and just maybe give us some clarification on what that looks like, so that we know a little bit better.
I'd like to see the guidelines.
How to move forward with that.
We've had 2 council person people and 1 resident.
Yes,
Last year that
yes, we
Bill
do.
was on the
Yes.
police commission, he was not a
Right,
council person, so
yes.
there's precedent for it. It's been done before with,
I don't know how we got to the point where we do not have a police chief here during our meetings. We always have until this, last 6 or 8 months.
Leanna, I think it's appropriate to have, to think about having a representative from the police department here at every meeting. I don't know that it has to be the chief, but, I do think that's a good idea, and I certainly have taken that to heart, so I agree with you.
Okay.
There should be a representative here, in my opinion.
'Cause we had Scully for a bit.
Yeah, he came.
Scully was,
He was pretty faithful.
Yes, he was.
I mean, I think that's the core issue that I mean, I'm new to all this, but the core issue, I think, is that you feel like there's been a disconnect between the police department and the council, and having somebody here at the meetings would provide a closer connection, and maybe we should start there before we start
Okay,
retooling everything.
okay.
We always have that option, right?
I agree.
Sure, yeah, no, good point.
And then, and if Michael and Chris can get us those guidelines, then we'll pass those guidelines on to you guys, so that, you know, that helps as well, I think.
And I think especially if we have a contested issue after what I witnessed last Wednesday night, and no, I'm not trying to be funny, but I just think in the society, depending on what issue could become before this body, that it's just good practice to at least have a member of law enforcement here going forward.
I agree.
All good points,
Thank
and I
you.
agree with all of them. All right, Steve, stormwater.
no meeting, no report.
Okay, and street,
Can I talk about something on stormwater?
sure.
One of the MS4 requirements when we're talking about public outreach and, what was it? Basically, they would like us to let you guys know more of some of the MS4 things that we're doing. Specifically, the president needs to review the annual report, so we
Okay.
can do that, and obviously we'll send all that out whenever we do it. But I'm thinking about just to add more, I might do a small, I know Steve does stormwater updates, and we have the meetings, stuff like that, but maybe within 2 weeks, if we do any big MS4 projects or anything like that, I might include it just in the report, just to kind of hit some of those requirements, so that you guys are aware of some of the things that we're doing.
We could all use more knowledge on
I
MS4.
think that's a great idea. You're still the MS4 rep, correct?
The coordinator, yeah. And then, also, he reminded me, so the MS4 audit on what we just did happens every 4 years, and there's a construction side that happens every 4 years as well. But the federal government is doing their MS4 audit, and with our regional rep, they're gonna pick possibly five of her areas that she does, so we could be one, so fingers crossed. I don't know if I can handle that, but.
Might get federally audited next year.
But, so all that kind of stuff is coming down. The website's been revamped on the MS4 side, but I just kind of wanted to highlight that you might see that report in your packet. I just want to highlight some of those things. And it's just good for you guys to know the things that we're doing as well.
Yeah.
All
MS4
information.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
MS4, it does have an annual meeting every year that's pretty well done and gives good information, and I would encourage Andrea to attend that. I attended it for 20 years, and it's a good meeting, so.
Yeah, Chris and I belong, and Drew too. There's a small group, a regional group that we do web stuff with. Web stuff, that sounds weird. Webinars, virtual meetings.
There's some
with.
in person meetings.
And there's some in person as well, but Chris and I are both going to the what is it, Drew? Indiana.
In AFSM, for
Yes.
short.
So we're going to that in French Lick. It's 3 days. Chris is gonna come and go, just because he has so much other stuff planned. I'm only gonna stay one night and then go back the next day. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's so useful.
It's like September 10th or something like that.
10th through 12th
Yeah.
in French Lick, so
Yeah.
it's like an hour and a half drive, so
I
at
might-
least.
If you
that's a
wanna
good-
go,
yeah.
but- And just so you guys know, there are requirements. As the coordinator, I have to have so many CEUs,
Yeah.
right? Even as your historic preservation administrator, I have to have so many CEUs, so I'm going up to Fort Wayne to do that one as well, to make sure we kick all that stuff in, and Chris, and I know Drew does a lot of the training too, that helps us count towards, and we're gonna try to we're trying to vamp up stormwater wise our MS4 training for
And
street
floodplain.
and floodplain, so.
Because I'm gonna do the floodplain stuff, and I'm working on getting all the training on that. And this is at the same conference, so I mean, it's stuff that we're federally, or state federally mandated to do that we have to cover. I mean, Drew and Commonwealth are helping us on the floodplain stuff now as our official contact, but we wanna try to bring that back in, other than a consultant type thing like we talked about, so.
So you might see an extra report in your
That's all right, we will take an extra report. And streets?
Street has been busy as usual. They've continued to clean the walkway, the downtown and the downtown parking lots. They also continued patching potholes, trimming low-hanging limbs around town. The new boat dock components are here, and so they unloaded those when it was delivered, and it's over in their parking lot. They cleaned up around the shop for the inspection with MS4. They cleaned up limbs on French Island Trail that were blocking the road, and another tree that had fallen on Middle Street. They worked on decorative lighting in the downtown area. They cleaned the ditch at 318 Gray Street. This is kind of a famous ditch there. They removed the parking bumpers and put out the cones for another Earth Day event, helped
They did?
facilitate things for
They
that.
did?
They cleaned the ditch at 943 Tree Lane. They drone sprayed the riverbank. They changed the oil and did preventive maintenance on the pickup trucks. Not on the snow removal equipment yet, but that will be soon. And they continued spraying weeds around town.
Any questions for Ann? Steve, utility.
Utility will meet, I think we changed our date for September, I think it's gonna be September 9th. At
Okay,
1:30.
1:30.
all right, any questions for Steve? Finance, we had a finance meeting prior to this council meeting, and Nanette, do you wanna? do
Yes,
that?
so we reviewed the current status of our 2025 budget. I also handed out to those who weren't in the finance meeting our bond status of where our projects are, our balances, and our interest incurred year-to-date. We reviewed the draft of the operation budget, and we're mainly going through the main dollars of the operation budget. We have several home rule funds that are just kind of, it is what it is kind of situation. I really haven't gotten much feedback I do have the budget completed. It is in the state system, but I can still make changes to it up until the time I submit it on approval. So,
And when do you have to do that? That's after the public hearing?
that's after, well, the public hearing is October 8th at 2:45, so right before our regular council meeting, and then the public hearing.
2:45?
No, 5:30, I'm sorry. October 8th at 5:30. I can't read.
All right.
And then the budget adoption is actually Monday, October 20th, where we have rescheduled our regular scheduled council meeting that week due to AIM at 5:30. So after the budget adoption on that day is when you all will sign the resolution to the budget, and then I submit it in Gateway for final approval from the state.
Any questions for Nanette? And personnel?
Personnel is still searching for a date to meet.
Yes,
Needs to be
sooner
soon.
rather than later.
Yeah, ideally sooner the better, so I'll get this to you on the date.
Well, we have planned Tuesday, you want to meet Wednesday? Is that too late?
Just as soon as you can get it done. And the main purpose here is I have to know because certified salary for police officers are based on what your increase is. So that is the main key here.
So considering we will have planned, do you want to do it Wednesday at 4:45? Is that too late?
No, not for me.
And
Are you wanting to do it the Tuesday before plan, or are you talking Wednesday, the day after plan?
with the day after planned?
Yep, I don't have anything.
And do you?
I'm looking.
Okay.
You said 4:45 on the 3rd.
Yeah, because I'll have to work till 4:30.
Will we be done by 6?
Oh,
sure.
heavens, yes.
I would hope so.
Okay, so this
Well,
is
maybe.
Personnel, 4:45 on Wednesday,
The third.
the 3rd.
yeah, that's fine.
So you want to have it then? Okay.
Board meeting.
And anything else for personnel?
No.
Special boards, Leanna, Arts Commission?
Yes, we were supposed to have a meeting Monday night, and after the event this weekend, everybody was pretty tired, so we canceled it for Monday night, but we'll get together soon. Those of us that actually worked on it, completely all the time, every day. And then our next regular meeting would be September, I don't know, I'm sorry.
The fourth
The
Monday in
Fourth
September.
Monday, it's the 22nd
Okay.
at 5:30.
All right, any questions for Leanna? Leanna, sidewalks?
Sidewalk Committee, we had to cancel meeting at our regular time, and so it's going to be tomorrow at noon here.
Okay. Ad hoc, growth and progress, Leanna?
Our next meeting, I think we've pretty much settled on the third Thursday, and it'll be at 4 PM, and that's here for September 18th.
Okay. Steve, do you have any miscellaneous business?
I do not, thank you.
Paul, do you?
No, ma'am.
And do you? Leanna? Of course.
I'm sorry, I didn't last meeting, so I really get double time tonight. I'm sorry. I just have a very fast question. This was brought up to me by one of the citizens down at the Earth Day, and he said, Leanna, look at that great big thing that sticks up in the air down the way. Well, it's off here somewhere. It's a cell tower. And he said the town used to receive $2,000 every year, I guess, to have that cell tower in place. And he said, do we still get that in the town with the way things are working budget-wise? Well, what happened? He said, if you don't get it, what happened? Why do we not get it?
I don't know. I mean, the only tower that I know of is at the fire station, and the only thing that we get related to those lines are like cable franchise fees. I don't think.
Okay, but it's here. I mean, when I was down there, I could see the cell tower.
That's
You're
the
talking
lines
about the
are-
one behind Jennings Station?
Yes,
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think it's on private property.
but we had an agreement, and we were getting this money for several years. So I think it's worth checking into. $2,000, that would almost pay for my Arts Commission budget. I'm sorry.
Then we have one on the fire station.
I haven't seen any kind of fees related to,
Well, I think
That all.
it's worth checking into,
I
$2,000.
will look into it.
Okay, thank you. There's probably a file somewhere. It may go back to the days of electronic research.
I bet it does.
I bet it does too.
All right, and I have no miscellaneous business. Nanette, approval of claims?
all claims have provided to council 5 days prior to this meeting. We're requesting these claims plus any sewer adjustments be approved for payment in the amounts of Civil Town, $251,746.18. 251,746.18. For sewer, $322,652.04. 322,652.04.
I'll make a motion to approve all claims properly signed, including any sewer adjustments to be paid. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Chris?
We've got check sign and see. I'll need to come to the microphone.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay, that's okay. I actually came halfway prepared tonight and you didn't call on me. Chris Wetstein, Warwick County Council, District 1. No, I'm saying all this in jest. Quite often when I come, Steve says, "Hey Chris, you got anything?" And I'm always like, "Oh, everything." So today, thinking that I was going to be here tonight, I reached out to a couple of smart girls in the county and I said, "Hey, help me out here. You know, give me some information to share." So Crystal Palace, she jumped right in and she said, "Here, I've got a really cool document, in case they haven't seen it." And she sent it to me, and it's 254 pages long. It's about the lit distribution throughout the state. So I just thought, well, I'll send this to another smart girl. So Nanette, it's on your email. When you get a chance, you can look at it and explain it to me sometime. So anyway, I'm sure Nanette will forward it on to everybody, but Crystal thinks it's cool. And Crystal and Nanette can communicate on a different level, you know, with the finances and stuff. So anyway, so then also Debbie Dennis-Steersman is she's the commissioner's administrator. And Debbie, she chimed in, she said, yes, she said, I haven't had a chance to let whoever know. She said that the Newburgh Volunteer Fire Department was awarded $27,000 last night from the county opioid grant for purchasing some type of a CPR machine. I don't know what to call it, Lucas machine, I think it's called. And two, I hear that's really cool.
Excellent.
I've not seen it, but I've talked to several people who have seen it, and they said, that's really cool. So then the next thing, Debbie also said to let everyone know, don't already know, is that Warwick County is one of two counties that was approved for the RED program, which is, I don't know what that stands for, Chris, you're shaking your head.
Rural empower, or, man, it's rural something, you put me on the spot and
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I sent it,
I've got it in my notes, but anyway.
it's in the email that we sent out to the council with the press release.
So that's cool because it's going to allow, you know, the county.
Rural empowerment and development.
There you
Yeah,
go. Rural empowerment and development.
Yep.
It'll allow the county, Warwick County and Madison County, the other county, to do some studies which will qualify us then for other grants. And I'm very hopeful that Newburgh is going to be a really big part of that.
We were part of the grant process with Steve Rowley,
Yes.
and we gave him a lot of information. And I spoke to Steve the day the press release broke, and he said he should have more details for us in the coming week or so.
Yeah, good. Because I know that, you know, some of the meetings that I've been to that, and they've been right in here, you know, and when you look out and see that river and the riverfront and everything, so I expect Newburgh to be, you know, a real important part of that RED program. So anyway, there's three cool things for you.
Thank you.
And thanks for being the smart girls. So that's all I want to share.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, good.
we are adjourned. We didn't vote,
We
okay.
just took a motion. and
We
a
took a motion,
second.
okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, now we're adjourned. Okay then.
Oh, we turned on.
Oh,